Yes, welcome in. Welcome in. It is Richie and Rob, betPARX, hanging out with you once again. Always good to see my man, my guy, Jon Ritchie. Johnny, what's going on, my man?
Hi, Bert. Feeling
Oh,
good. We just got a
yeah.
great win.
Yeah, I agree with you, John. It's weird, just a gauge thing before we get into the game itself. Don't you feel I'll ask you because I feel much better about that game, even though it wasn't perfect, than I did either New England or Minnesota. How about you? Where are you in terms of where this team is right now?
Yeah, it was far from perfect, especially the way Jalen played. I've been surprised at the mistakes that Jalen Hurts has been making this
Mhm.
year on things that I didn't think he was capable of making mistakes on, like the pull read, whether to, give it to the back or keep it himself. He's made some mistakes there, whether to give it to the back or pull it and throw it to the tight ends who are free and easy and wide open in the flat. Why didn't you do that? There have been a lot of plays this year about with Jalen that it's just felt like everyone's yelling in unison. Why? And man, he was nailing these plays with 99% accuracy last year. So I guess he's still adjusting in a lot of ways, and it's continuing to improve,
Mhm.
which is great to watch. I think overall that's a huge win against a team. Look, the Buccaneers are a good team, and I was really impressed with the way that we handled them. We were clearly the better team last night.
Yeah, I mean, I never felt like it was in jeopardy, John. Even after they cut it to 14 with the 2-point conversion, you still felt safe because you can go to that running attack. And here's the thing, you can make a lot of excuses and rationalize things when the competition isn't great and all that. Tampa came into the game on Monday night as the number 2 team against the run in football, and you ran all over them, John, and you imposed your will. In fact, I mean, you basically just took the air out of the ball for 9:22 to close that thing. It wasn't like you were doing that against some scrub team. That was Vita Vea and the boys that you just gashed again for more than 200 yards. I mean, this is becoming a habit with this Eagles team.
Yeah, they're just that good. The offensive line is that dominant, and now with DeAndre Swift, you've got a back that's got just amazing vision and the speed and confidence in his speed. A lot of times you got a back who's really good and capable of getting that edge, but he
Yep.
doesn't just quite have enough confidence to really sell out and use that speed to gain that edge. DeAndre Swift, he's smart about it and he's making all the right moves right now. That's for sure.
Yeah. So you have that. And I want to get back to Hertz in a minute, some of your observations, but let's go to the other side. A defensive front right now, John, led by sort of the youth movement here of Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter. You want to throw Milton Williams in there. You want to throw Tuli Palatu, whatever. You can throw anybody in there you want to, really owning that line of scrimmage and getting an unbelievable push. What they've been able to do in terms of shutting the other team's rushing attacks down is nothing short of spectacular. And think about it, John, they're doing this without Hassan Reddick getting loose yet. I mean, this guy had 16 sacks last year, and we haven't even seen him, really do anything. It's crazy.
Yeah, Hassan Reddick he's clearly been limited this season with the club, and we know that'll get better. So that's really positive. I think the thing that blows me away, we're the third game of the season, and our rookie is the one who's getting double teamed.
He's the
Our
guy you got a
rookie,
game plan for, John.
yeah, our rookie Jalen Carter is the guy that the opposing offensive coordinator says, "Wow, we have to figure out a way to try to slow this guy down. So we're going to devote extra blockers to Jalen Carter." That we've heard the rumblings all through camp. Hey, Lane Johnson's talking about how impossible this guy is to block, and Lane Johnson is the best tackle in the NFL. What does it all mean? Well, what it means is what we're seeing with Jalen Carter. He goes out there and dominates to the point where you've got him pushing 2 blockers like they're a sled right next to Fletcher Cox, who's pushing his blocker with a bull rush. They're both swimming at the same time, and they're both arriving at that quarterback with immediacy and anger and bad intentions. And it works out great for the Philadelphia Eagles because the coverage was not an issue last night. The coverage, when you have pressure, pass rush pressure like that, you don't worry as much about, can the young guys hold up without Avonte Maddox in the slot?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's amazing how a pass rush can really help your secondary out. But I do want to get back to Hurts. So there's a lot of positives. Obviously, the only 3 teams that are 3-0 right now, and they're one of them. Are you viewing this as, John, a regression on his part, as a just not quite on the same page with his new offensive coordinator? They're asking him to do things a little bit differently. Clearly, there's not as many RPOs. There's not as many, drawn up runs for him. What would you attribute sort of the slower, I would say, up and down start from him thus far? Because he did make a spectacular throw to the Zacchaeus for that touchdown. But what would you say it is?
I think, especially the first 2 games, he didn't have enough information to go on. He is a young player. He has not seen the kitchen sink and everything else thrown at him in his, precocious career.
Mm-hmm.
So he was having looks thrown his way that he was unfamiliar with, and the coaching staff didn't do a good enough job of teaching him how to handle those looks, giving him a framework where, okay, if there's this look and you recognize it, here's what you get the team into. If there's this look, then you get to this look. I don't think that was adequately in place, to be honest, because I don't know how it could be. The coaching staff needed to see the counter reaction by these defensive coordinators around the league in order to have their counter punch to that.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish that our coaches would have better anticipated what the defensive coordinators around the league were going to throw their way, because for the first 2 games with the nebulous looks they were giving us and the disguises they were giving us, it really blindsided us. I was surprised at that, it seemed.
Yeah, going to be interesting to see what happens as we move forward here. Now, the Eagles covered the spread easily. They won that game by 14 points against the Bucs. I want to remind everybody, betPARX app, you got to download it if you haven't. Get on that. Believe me, it is worth it. You got the 5K fuel up. Place any parlay with plus 5,000 odds or greater on college or pro football games. If your parlay hits, if it wins, you automatically earn an entry into a raffle for your shot at winning an incredible $5,000 gas gift card. Yes, there's no limit to how many qualifying parlays that you can place. Check out the promo page for more details.